For more on India food security, I'm joined now by Dr. Melvin Kramer, the president of the EHA Consulting Group. And Dr. Kramer, will this plan be a success, or is this simply a gimmick that's going to be detrimental to India's economy?
Well, I'm not sure if it would be detrimental to India's economy. I think one of the most important questions is, can they provide this food that will be clean, safe, and sanitary? And India seems to be committed through their Food Safety and Standards Authority to ratchet up food safety. And part of food safety is actually security, because we know that we can have agri-terrorism as well as bioterrorism. So that's something that remains to be seen.
You're looking at providing food for 2/3 of the population, and Shweta Bajaj mentioned the issue of corruption. It's been seen in the past. How do you avoid that?
Well, I think corruption in governments around the world is clearly a problem. And when you have commodities, whether they're foods or cosmetics or drugs or medicines of any type, where you can have room for critical error, that's very problematic. And the question is, how committed are the regulators to regulate and put enough resources in to have enough safeguards that all of the food would be safe from either chemicals like we saw a few weeks ago with the pesticides, bacteria, or even physical contaminants like glass and metal.
Well, and Dr. Kramer, we had you on after that tragedy involving those school children in India. It was a tragic story, and of course that creates a spotlight on India right now. But give us a sense of the landscape out there. When it comes to food security, we hear these big stories emanating out of perhaps India or other developing countries, but other countries are struggling as well with this issue. Can you just kind of give us a broad brushstrokes of what we're seeing out there?
Well, I think food safety and security has come to the forefront. Look, it's just a few years ago that FDA in the United States passed the Food Safety Modernization Act that hasn't fully been implemented, and clearly we're undergoing our own rulemaking. India is part of Codex Alimentarius, which is under the aegis of the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations. And we in the United States and in the EU import a tremendous amount of food from India. A matter of fact, the FDA has two offices, one in Mumbai and the other in New Delhi. They have communication, education. A matter of fact, 70 top regulators and academicians and industry leaders had a seminar put on by the US FDA and the University of Maryland in Cochin. So this is something that is a work in progress. Cooperation and collaboration actually makes it's a win-win. We get in the United States about 25% of our spices and food additives, coloring agents, and oils from India. We've had some issues, regulatory issues. We had a salmonella outbreak, if you recall, from the tuna fish scrapings that was associated with sushi. And our FDA and their government worked very, very closely. And once it was determined which plant it was, the manufacturing permit was suspended by the Indian government. So they have the rudiments, and they're building the infrastructure. Let's face it, it's a worldwide problem. And we're trying to take a global approach to set minimum standards and best practices.
Well, Dr. Kramer, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining this evening. Certainly appreciate it.
Thank you.